Good morning, guys. So big question we need to ask ourselves, is Bitcoin back? Currently Bitcoin sitting at $111,000, and the big projection play was that this is bear market, things are over. And if it's bear market, why is Bitcoin pushing up so nicely from 105? So I want to try and answer that question with you guys today, and with me I have a couple of special guests as well. So we're going to bring her up a little bit later. So while that is the case, guys, say hi. Let me know where you're tuning in from and whether you're bullish or bearish in the comments. So, Peter, what would be the tag for bullish? We'll probably say 111 if you wanted to go down. So that would be bearish. And let's go 999 if you want this thing to break through 111 and go to the moon. Let's see where your sentiment is at. So let me know. Okay, guys, so let's do a quick recap of where we left things off last week. So I'm going to head over to my Bitcoin chart and we're going to look at Bitcoin on the weekly. Now, I stated one thing or two options for you guys, and it was based on the liquidation that happened over the previous weekend. Okay, and the play was as follows. So I've still got all the notes scratched on the chart for you guys, so we can just follow on that. When there's a liquidation event like we have there, and price closes immediately, the next candle closes above the end of the liquidation. So you had the whole candle, the candle closed, and then there was a candle that closed above it. It is normally a sign of strength, and typically what you want to do then is buy 50% of that wick. That is the really good buy. When you have a liquidation event like we had there, but the candle closes, the next candle closes below the closing price of that liquidation candle, that's typically a sign of weakness, and we should fill that wick and some. And that was what we were waiting for the whole of last week. What happened with our liquidation candle? So now we have the answer. So what happened was we had our liquidation candle, and we had a very weak closing Bitcoin candle at this stage, which means statistically our long-term buys for Bitcoin is probably only going to happen once we filled this week, which means we could still range around, chop around, but statistically it means that the higher probability is that we're going to go below 101 and probably test that range for continuation as more. Okay, for more. And that then sets the tone from why we sold at 125. You know, we had strong bearish divergence, we fell below the support pivot at that range. And around that point, we will then look for, on the weekly time frame, hidden bullish divergence, which we don't have just yet. So larger time frame plays, we don't have anything that I would really signal as there. Now, the guys that's going to say, listen, Rudo, come on, open your eyes, look at that clearly. There's hidden bullish divergence. That is, in a way, correct. But I'm looking for wave on wave divergence. So I want to see this correction end up, play out and create a little bit of a sideways trend before I try and look for this. And hidden bullish divergence, the strong ones are normally sitting down there. You want to fall below this pivot. That's the swing, the next bull market swing long pivot for me. So although this is a bullish trade and we're in a bullish trade at the moment, this is the area. This is the area where I want my divergence to occur. So wherever price is at that stage for the larger time swing. Okay, so let's recap what we did in the Discord last week, Friday. We traded live with everybody. This was the Bitcoin long that we took. Okay, so currently we're sitting at 111. The max pain price at that stage was 111,500, and we're nearest makes no difference, almost at that TP range. We also Friday scalped long Camino Finance. This was on the buddy indicator, and we took the SO3 breakout. We went to TP1. We just fell shy of TP2. And we ended off the week with the closing comments that move all stops to break even. We're done for the day, guys. Things were looking good. So if you want to trade with us, all you need to do is get your own Bybit account using the link in the video description. make sure to have the crypto EMC in the referral code. That grants you access to the buddy indicator, as well as allows you to participate with everybody in the Discord when we trade live. Okay, it's as simple as that. Now that we have the sentiment on from where we believe things to go, I just want to do a quick reminder of this chart. This is the 4-year cycle, and before everybody says, yeah, but this time it's different, it's always different. It's the same rhetoric over and over and over, because it never repeats. It will always rhyme, and the rhythm you only pick up after you listen to the song. You don't see it in the moment. So for me, larger time frame, nothing has changed. We're in this complacency phase of the market. We're sitting in this area where this is a monthly where the market needs to kind of figure out what it wants to do. And hopefully this gives us a really good dominance breakdown, because we don't have that just yet. Okay. Sorry, I'm on the wrong chart. Where's my dominance chart now? Oh, I just had it. Not you. It's not this. It's not this. Let me just cycle through the stuff. Otherwise, I'm going to... there we go. Okay. And it means that while Bitcoin kind of figures out what it wants to do, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's over for us, for the alt, because the dominance, although it was very bullish, you can see that lower low in the RSI, like I just explained that I'm looking for Bitcoin, the dominance had that, and it closed above this area. It's probably going to creep up, which is going to bring our alt in some really good buy zones, and maybe give us a prolonged slow grind or slow burning alt season at some stage. It's probably just not there just yet. Okay, so that's the play on that. Now, just a few things before we bring on our guest, just a few things for you to note going forward. The first thing is the CME Gap. Okay, now the CME Gap, Chicago Mercantile Exchange, one of the largest liquidities for Bitcoin. And typically what we'll find is over the weekend, if we do have a rally, is that the CME gaps gets filled. Now, statistically, the data on that says that about 50% of all CME gaps get filled on the first trading day of the week, which means they would close over the weekend. We've now got a good Monday open. They will go get that gap filled within the first day of the week. Thereafter, 30% of all CME gaps, if it doesn't get filled on Monday, all CME gaps get filled within the first week. So we've got the first day, Monday today, and then the additional data is that it happens within the first week. And then overall, 98% of all CME gaps do get filled. So you have a destination where you know price is going to be at some stage. So you don't need to front run yourself or try and get ahead of yourself too quickly. Okay. What else do we have? Let's quickly see. Peter, I've just picked up, I'm not streaming to any other of my other channels. Somebody screwed up the settings. So it's just YouTube today. I apologize. We'll probably have to load this onto the stream. Okay. Now, last little thing, and then we head over to the comments, bring up our guest. Let's quickly have a look at the point and figure chart. Now, the point and figure chart is our volatility chart. So it gives us these little clues as well where price is going to want to head towards. So 110 was a sell zone. We've broken through that range. So our next target probably will be 114. Which means that this trade that we're holding on to, this Bitcoin trade that we're sitting in the Discord, could potentially hit to 114K. Now, if I zoom out and we try and bring this, remember, this is now 15-minute time frame. What do we have at 114? There's a little imbalance that lives right there, meaning this sell-off was too quick. So it's fair to assume that price is going to want to try and trap as many traders around that range. So when we at that 114 zone, consider looking for some bearish divergence on Bitcoin on the 4-hour. And let's then load the 4-hour time frame and let's finish up with Bitcoin there. Meaning we've got clearly, this is our recap line, the white line from where we were last week. Okay. So we've got clearly a higher high on the RSI, a lower high on price. And statistically, from our Fibonacci levels, we know that from this kind of move, or from this move, is that 114 would be the area where you would add to your shorts. So this is that trap that I'm talking about that everybody needs to take note of. It doesn't mean that it can't fail and go make a higher high and move up, but statistically, your play to trade for a living, your swing trade play would be to try and enter at this range at 114 and not want to see a higher high, because the RSI is giving you divergence. We could potentially go test these lows and even make a lower low, and that would be the play. Okay, so everybody's on the same page. We know where we're at. We know what we're seeing. Over to the comments. Let's quickly see. So we said bearish. So Jerry is bearish and Casey is bullish. The rest of you guys, where you're at, let me know in the comments. And then I'm going to, oh, Peter, you've loaded them. You're a genius. Thanks, buddy. So we're broadcasting to the other channels now, so it should start picking up. More comments should be coming away. Okay, let's quickly see where everybody is tuning. Let's see where we're at now. Dean, complacency, probably. Yes, and this is then the closing remark for where we're at right now. Remember, tops will always look bullish, guys. You've got that complacency sitting right there. And it does look like there's more. They'll always look like it's more. They'll always look like there's a little bit more. And if anything, trading tricks us, because if you think about this, if I just held my one Bitcoin I bought at $200, I mean, look where it would be now. And that could be the case. But the ups and the downs and the time scale of these moves sometimes just gets too much, and we end up tripping over ourselves. So don't let complacency hit you, especially if you're new and you just got in with some of your positions, because coins that were here, they don't even exist anymore. So it's very small amount of coins that actually stand the test of time and give you these long-term gains. Okay, so just take note of that. What price is the CME Gap at? Let's quickly just note that for you, Jerry. It's living at 107,700. Okay, nearest makes no difference. Remember, the CME has got a spread built on top of it. So if it says 11,200 or 111,300, your BTC price will always be, I think, about $200 lower. So there will be a little bit of a price difference. So make sure to load the chart to get it there. So we're still good on the lower time frames? Yes. I reckon we're still good on the lower time frames for a little bit more upside. I'm going to try and get that $114,000 level. I think that's the sweet spot zone for us on the lower time frames. And that's everything from the comments. Now, guys, my little piece is done. Now I'm going to bring up our guest for today and hear what she has to say regarding Bitcoin. And there we go. Good morning, Val. How are you doing?
Morning. I'm great. Thank you, Rudo, for having me. I hope everybody's doing well too.
I would imagine that, guys. Show some love. Hit the 777 on the chat. Let's give Val some love. Okay. Luis says, "Hola, amigos." S. Riley is from Australia. Good day. Your day is almost over. Good afternoon to you, sir. Yeah, that's it. So let's quickly get into this. Val, you've got Bitcoin chart open there, and I see you've got a few interesting green lines with notes on that. What do they mean, and how do you see Bitcoin? Are we going to go full bull, or is it bear market?
I can't say if it's a bear market or full bull from here for now. What I can say is that usually the most important lines on my chart is the monthly open and the monthly pivot. And what happens is once the price loses that as support and we start trading below it, and if we find resistance, yes, like we are doing it right now, so we are coming for a retest of this OB here. Let me just highlight it, remove this. So we are coming to retest this OB, which is exactly in confluence with the monthly open and the monthly pivot on the chart. Okay, so we're talking about like 113, 115 as per region, right? If we close above this OB, which should act as a bearish order block for now, then we could be talking about making a higher high on the lower time frame structure, right? But due to this liquidation event that we had, this week is a bit misleading, well, for many. because it failed to close below this low, so people are still seeing this as we're seeing this as like a lower high at this point, right? So it is easier to see all that a bit cleaner on exchanges that don't have leverage trading on them, like Bitstamp, for example, right? Where we didn't have that liquidation event, we just had like a high low actually, then we had a lower high, and we broke this structure and this low, which created this higher high. So we are basically making lower highs, lower lows for now. So that means what we should expect is for price, once revisiting the bearish OB between 114 and 116 actually here, right? For example, different exchanges have different prices. It doesn't matter. Right. Just use the exchange you are trading on. I'm just using a cleaner one where we don't have all those crazy wicks. Okay. So basically the idea is that we will do something like this, go into this OB here, right? Which is in confluence with monthly open and the monthly pivot. We still have like 10 days left of this month. So, and if you see this structure developing, so as in creating, a low, a lower high again, and we break this low again. So basically that's your confirmation on this lower high that the OB is holding and we are going lower. On the other hand, if what we see is, we take out this OB, right? And take out this liquidity here, go into this fair value gap, which we clearly have here on the daily, right? We go into here, we come retest it, and it is now acting as support, and we close above this fair value gap, and we start going up. Yes, that is also a possibility because the markets are dynamic and we need to adjust to what the market is showing to us, not predict and hope and dream that it will fulfill our predictions, so to say. Okay, so this is about Bitcoin on the smaller time frame, because on the liquidation charts, what we have, this is about now, you were talking about the SME gap at 107K somewhere, right? So a lot of long positions open there for some reason, doesn't matter why. So we currently have a lot of long liquidations in the 107K area for Bitcoin, while the shorts liquidations are at about 113K. So right below that OB that we talked about. So probably people who open their short positions in this region here, right? Right below the last breakdown. So they put their stops, somewhere here at around 113K. So these shorts are the ones that could be hunted next. Okay.
Hold on to that note. I want to bring up this chart, and there you have it, Val. So there's the liquidation maps for you guys. So there's that 112 that you're looking at now. So if price were to push into that area, that's going to take them out. And then the 107 CME gap, there's a liquidation. So we could probably flush as low as 106. There's the data. If you guys want the data, you can just go to CoinGlass. You can go pick it up there. Okay. Val, I'm bringing you back. Continue on there. Thanks.
Okay. So this is all about the short term, right, for BTC. Now, we can talk a little bit about the long-term BTC chart. We've been talking about it for like a few years now. It's the same chart I always bring up. Okay.
But there's a big green circle that's very important on that chart.
Yeah, that's the important circle right now. So the idea is that I'm not going to go into how we got into longs and all that. We discussed that in a previous, stream. Okay, so that long position is still theoretically active until we get the inverse breakdown. Yes, that would confirm the bear market according to this strategy that I am using. And somehow, well, not developed necessarily, but it's like mine,
It works for you, and it's on a 3-day, correct?
Yes, it's strictly on a 3D chart. I studied it on Bitstamp for more clarity, and it also has a lot of data, so enough to work with to gather some samples. You can go off one example. So the idea is that if we, for example, let's say we rejected the monthly open and the monthly pivot, right around here, 114, 15K, it doesn't matter, right here. And we start going down. If we go down anywhere near this green circle, which is actually the 200 moving average day on the 3D chart, right? So anywhere near the currently 88, 90K, that's already too low even for that, for 90K, it's too close to that region. It basically confirms the possibility that the bull market is over and we are entering, or we have entered actually, the bear market, because it is impossible to know that at the exact top. You need more data. You need breakup structures. You need bearish divergences. Yes, you need all sorts of, bearish news. It's a lot of factors that come together for confluence to create that top. But it's not like on day one, you can say for sure, this is the top. I knew, and I was sure. It doesn't work like that, because once we come down here to this 3D base, as I call it, we will start forming a base here, right? Which should be looking plus minus like a range. I'll show you some examples so you know what we're talking about. This is the one we covered in 2022 on live stream. And what happened and what I discussed is that we will create a base. So this is what I expect that will happen. We will create a base and we will go for a pullback, right? And then it will start selling off. Well, harder and more intense, because it would align with the third wave from Elliott wave theory, let's say. So that one is the strongest and the biggest usually. Okay, this is just one example.
Then confirm the bearish trend then. And
yes.
So basically, I think the moral of the story, if we look at this, is for the viewer that's maybe looking at, well, do I need to sell at 111? The question is, if you look at the strategy, is that you're going to have to give back a little bit more of your gains in order to find out whether the move is in fact over, or we're just testing that blue line for the continuation. And this is the part that gets a lot of people, is knowing that sometimes you have to give back to find out whether there's more.
The idea is that after we create the 3D base, it's not like a clean breakdown, to like 30, 40K or something. We create a base and we go for a pullback, right? Which usually coincides with another bearish B that is created in the meantime, which is not here for, let's say, right now, or it could be this one we are creating right now. It doesn't matter. The concept and the idea is what you should look out for. We are not predicting right now. We are just laying out the scenarios and the setups that could occur to take trades based on that. So if we do break down to this region, we are talking about 88K. Anything below 90K, in my opinion, starts to confirm the forming of the 3D base. When it falls, it depends on the strength we have of the bears in the market. At that point, it can go down to 81 easily, even 80, because we do have here a congestion region that was formed on the weekly, and we have a bullish OB that is not tested and can be tested on the weekly. I'll switch in a sec. So it's more than possible for you to even retest 80K in this scenario, right? Then we would go for a pullback into a bearish OB that is forming. And after that, we would go for a sell-off. So basically where you would sell or exit completely if this confirms is here in this region here, right? Right here on the pullback. That is your confirmation of creation of a lower high. Or in worst case scenario, if you don't want to do that because I don't know, you are hoping you're not ready and God knows what, it doesn't matter. Okay, you exit once this low, the 3D is broken,
It's like
right?
that,
It is your second confirmation. And if you don't, if you don't exit even
wait
then,
until the bottom.
well,
Then you can
no,
sell.
you could go for a let's hold strategy. It is, okay, it is a strategy, but it will give you another pullback at one point. So from here, let's say
Confirm that level, yeah.
Yeah, it will bounce from here again to somewhere here, and go again. So it doesn't matter. The idea is once you start seeing the structure breaking down, you need to view this simply as in like a real-time event. If your building is falling down, you have two options. You either stay inside and pray for the best, that the pillars are going to hold you somehow, or you can be extra active and take action to protect yourself and just get out of the building. It's the same thing with the trading. It's not that complicated. People are also afraid, well, if I sell and the price then returns, I will never be able to get in. Yes, you will be able to get in, because the same structures appears to the upside as they appear to the downside. There's no let's say
The
the
market
strategy
is kind. If you're patient enough, it will test the level and you can use that.
Yes.
That's
So
the
let's
beauty
say,
about it.
let's say this strategy fails this time. But before I do that, I want to show something else. Oops, hold on. In just a sec, let me delete this. So there is also a timeline, right? Which you have the same chart, the 4-year cycle. You're calling it the 4-year cycle. I'm just not giving it a name. I'm just, this is a statistical study.
500 bars, give or take.
Yes, this is a statistical study of how long exactly, plus minus each, lasted from how much period we had from the bottom to the top, basically. So we are back in this, we had 494, 479. Now it's put to 484. It doesn't matter. You need to understand that we are nearing, so closing very much to what statistically was the top for Bitcoin during all the past phases we had. So when you have so many factors of confluence, it is for me, it is foolish to close your eyes and just cheer something. I don't know, as a trader, I can only view this mathematically and statistically. I cannot view this as basing my trades on fundamental analysis that somebody said that, or China that, or Trump this. It's all interesting, but those news drive the price short term, because what people need to understand, all this is programmed already. The smart money know where they will exit. They are not waiting to see something. They already know. What we as traders, we are trying to figure out what they already planned, right? This is the thing that people need to understand.
Finding their tracks.
Yes. And I was okay. I was going to say something about if this plan fails, right? For example,
okay, well, give us your exit plan. We're about 28 minutes in. Kind of wrap it into your closing remarks, and then we'll take it there. I think here's a comment from Selena. I think a blow off top is coming next month. Maybe use that and kind of factor in a little bit of blow off top. What if that happens?
Sure, it is possible. Then we will not start breaking down from this bearish OB that we currently have, right? Because next month is like in a few days. It's not like we have 3 months to do that. Let's say. Okay, so if it comes, sure, it is possible. It needs to take out this bearish OB, do what we talked about, come, retest as support, right? And then continue to a blow off top and then, do something. It doesn't matter. The idea is that you need to see that structure form, right? So for now, the first step is how do we react to that monthly open, monthly pivot, which is in confluence with the bearish order block. That is your first step. From that, if we simply take out that bearish order block, which is currently the bearish order block, it becomes insignificant. So it doesn't have power, right, to hold whoever is entering the market, right? So then it is an easy setup when the price comes down, because it does come down. It doesn't go in a straight line. Everybody can see the chart. It's not a straight line. So when the price comes down and tested as support and it holds, you can easily enter, right? With a wider stop loss, obviously, because your stop loss is the low.
There will be more
there is no other stop loss unless you want to start feeding the market, or you need to go on smaller time frames and just have a better entry, a very clean entry, let's say on the 4-hour, on the hourly chart. So that is a possibility, of course. Everything is possible. The market is dynamic, so we're not talking in like a static stage. This is it and nothing else happens. No, it is dynamic and we will adjust. I'm not currently, for example, shorting yet.
I'm sure.
But I'm
one of those. I'm one of those crazy ones. But okay, let's leave it there for today. I think we'll bring Val in ASAP again, and then we can build on this. So let's see whether we stay below 114, 115. And if so, then we'll look at how the momentum is going to push price a little bit lower down. And if not, if we start reclaiming these levels, like you're saying, 118, we need to re-question whether this is going to be our sell zone, or whether we're going to turn this OBE that lives with you here at 115, whether we're going to turn that into support and drive on higher. And I think that is a really good point to end off the stream. Let's see what Afi has to say. Shorting is my bread and butter. Well, as Val just used, I like this. The bulls climb the steps. The bears have to jump out the window because the building is falling down. Okay, guys. So shorts pay you quickly. there is a nice narrative for that. Okay, there we have it. Val, thanks so much for taking the time, guys. If you want to go and follow her, I highly suggest do that. Go to her Twitter page. Val Coins, links in the video description. She throws a hell of a lot of alpha out there for you guys. You can pick up her charts there as well, with all the lines marked out nicely. Okay, now it's not showing it. I'll just see if I can StreamYard. It's now auto zooming and correcting things for me. But there you have it. You can find it on her Twitter page. Val, thanks so much for taking time with us. Guys, I think that's everything we have for today. Selena says thank you for the stream. Afi, and then you got some compliments here as well from Louis. So there you have it. Well, thanks so much, guys. I'm going to end the stream here. I will be back tomorrow with some more charts. Make sure to go and check out the Discord. Let the party continue there. Cheers, everybody.
Have a great